Hey there, folks. How we doing? There's a few things that were popping through my head. Um, to talk about this morning, but because something has been happening so much, so often, uh, I'm going to talk about AT visitation. How it happens, what happens, a lot of stuff that's involved in it. So, gotta change the color on this thing. Anyway, it's 7:10, 7:10 a.m. Wednesday, July 26, 2017. Dun dun dun. Anyway, I know it sounds kind of silly sometimes, the things I do. Whatever, you know. Have a laugh when you can. Life is serious. Be serious when you need to, but man, we need time sometimes just to relax and not give a damn, because life demands of us that we care so much about everything all the time. Excuse me. Anyway, Dan and I have had so many visits this morning. Last night we had another one. This morning I got up. There's enough stuff running around where I wasn't really mad, but I was tired and pissed. And one of them went right by me, so I got up, went across the hall and downstairs. But as soon as I started to go downstairs, it finished going interdimensional, and that's just using their beaming technology. I guess we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot for you to understand. There's a lot that I understand that I want to share with you about how this happens. Now, I realize I got to remember this. At least we haven't got too deep in the topic yet. Deanna teases me all the time. She did this morning. We had a visit. We both got some deep sleep for a while, and then we wake up and you're groggy, and when they put you out, you can feel it. If they go in light, they can literally just, you won't know what's going on. You'll think you're awake and you're not. You'll think you're conscious and you're not. You're living an experience they want you to. They'll take a memory in your head, just take it, and just the pleasant one, and the one that feels pleasant, good energy to it, and they just move it. So kind of keep you there. You feel like you're sitting you can feel like you're sitting in a chair, and your eyes wide open, and you won't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, you kind of come back, and you're like, what? And if somebody told you there was just an ET in front of you, you'd say, what are you, fucking nuts? But that's one of the things they can do. There's no such thing as magic, but there is such a thing as higher forms of intelligence, of intelligent beings that have incredible technology. To think that we're the smartest, but the fact that the ship's running around, it's like, come on, hello. Been listening to too much crap, prejudice, religions. Excuse me, arrogance, abuses everywhere. Anyway, so So anyway, Deanna was teasing me this morning about how I'll wander from one topic to another, and it's like somebody was nice enough to say Jay does wander, but he does get back to what he was talking about most of the time to finish it. I try. Um, it's like I'm an author, but I'm not a writer. Okay. Uh, you can know how to make a good salad, but that doesn't mean you're a chef. Um, you might know how to put an alternator on a car and understand it. That does not make you a mechanic. Because I'm old and I'm strong energy, that has a lot of an effect on the thought process in your brain, and the field has changed. Everything's changing for y'all. These children with ADD, they whatever, all these different new abbreviations, they come up with a new one every day. These folks, 98 out of 100 times, I guess, whatever, over 90% of the time, these children are have had a lot of lives. They're what you call old soul. They're spirit that's been around a long time, and they're used to doing things different. I've said many times before, on most planets that you've had lives on, most planets that exist in this third dimension, because that's where planets basically exist, but there's other dimensions here in the planet the same way, but it's different energy. Anyway, you go from right to left, then you go up, right to left, up, right to left. And how do we do it here in America and in many other places? Left to right, down, left to right, down. Okay, so it's actually the opposite of how we go. And when you start reading something and you're very old energy, old spirit, and you've had a lot of lives, you're used to going right to left, up, right to left, right to left, up. But the other spirit that's in your body used to belong to Gaia. She released it to become whatever it's going to be. We're going to go there too. Well, that'll be another video. What happens when spirit breaks off? Pieces of spirit break off for another one. We'll do that after this. But anyway, so our individual selves, we used to go in right to left, up, right to left, right to left, up, right to left, up, right to left, up, and then the spirit from the planet, that Gaia broke away, that goes into these bodies. Planetary essence is what I'm trying to say. That originally came from Gaia. That goes into these bodies with you. It's only used to doing stuff here, and believe it or not, more often than not, when you got away from Atlantis dropping, it was left to right, left to right, left to right, down, left to right, down, left to right, down, the opposite. So that's caused a problem with dyslexia. So you'll find in countries where they read right to left, up, right to left, up, they have less dyslexia. Anyway, what happens is you follow the normal process, how newspapers, how everything's set up. We go left to right, and then sometimes you get as you're going from left to right, as soon as you see the end of the sentence or whatever on the right hand side, when you get there, you immediately want to go back. It's like, wait a minute, we're going the wrong way. And then the earth and planetary essence within you, the piece of it, wants to go. They said, no, we're going the right way. This indecision. So, and I'm sure that causes a chemical reaction within the body and an electrical impulse issue. And scientists will read it, or medical doctors will read that, and they see it happening in a certain part of the brain. They'll say there's something wrong with that part of the brain. Bullshit. All they're doing is reading a symptom from something else that exists. I'm not beating up doctors, but what do most doctors do? Give you pills to take care of symptoms. I got good doctors, love them. Anyway, and I appreciate all doctors and the work they do until they get, greedy and self-absorbed. Anyway, remember, no matter what field you're in, I don't care if you're a fireman, a cook, a scientist. There's positive and negative folks in both, positive attitude folks and negative attitude folks in all trades. So back to the ET visitation thing. When they come in, how do they come in? When they take you out, how do they take you out? Why would they take you out? When would they? What's happening in your brain while this is going on? How do they knock you out? Do they come physically? You've all heard about them going through walls and stuff. Literally, right through the wall of your house. How does that happen? Well, I'm going to tell you. Cheers, coffee time. A minute ago, a couple of minutes ago, I said it's going to take a while in this because I got to start at this very beginning. By the way, when they start putting implants in you, you're going to break out. Okay. The equipment that they put in you, the fluids they put in you, they're not normal to your body. Your body rejects them. I can take a shower at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and come 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I've got to take another shower. I can feel the stuff coming out of me. And you've heard other people say it, okay? I don't copy people. I am what I am. I say what I know, whether someone else has said something similar or the same thing, whatever, fine. Very seldom will they be saying the same thing, but they don't see and understand what I do. But at the same time, that's why I'm saying this now. This is something I know you've heard, that some of you have heard. It's like a metallic taste, not just in your mouth, but in your body. That's true. Your body is rejecting something that's in it. It's wanting to get rid of it. Deanna, she's had to have certain fluids in her to keep her, to help her out because of these children that parts of her and me are being used to create. There's a lot of them. It's going to be a total of 48. That's a very definite number. She needed to have some nutrients and stuff inside her, and that has to do with the embryos are put in her, and it would literally they put a large amount of it in her and to make like a cyst. The body makes something of a cyst around it. Even though they make this stuff relative to our DNA and everything else, our physical bodies still somewhat reject it. But then, as time would go on, the cyst gets smaller and smaller and goes away. Then she'll have some more embryos put in, it gets bigger, and then it gets smaller again. But there were some changes that needed to be made, and that's how they did it. So sometimes they actually put fluid in you, and your body can somewhat reject you. You can get a metallic taste in your mouth, but you can feel it. You feel toxins or something coming out your pores, and it does. Well, at least when you're alive and when you're awake. Okay, when I say alive, I mean when you've woken up. You know who you really are. It's weird. And when you can see stuff and everything, and they're going in and out. Okay, let's go back to where how do they literally elevate you and go through the wall? They have ships that are anti-gravity. You think they can't do that on a smaller scale? Yes. People have talked about the tall whites in the desert. in the United States desert out west, just floating a little bit above the ground. A lot of people are lost. They'll say they're they're telekinetic. They're telekinetic. They have telekinetic powers. No, nothing in the body is telekinetic powers. Not yet. That's getting ready to happen. Angels have moved stuff around. So it takes powerful energy outside, a powerful spirit with strong energy outside of a body to actually move stuff around like that, or physical, scientific equipment that removes the gravity field. That's easily done here. But as far as a person generating that through their body, no, not yet. It's getting ready to happen. Not yet. These new kids coming in are powerful as hell. You'll see them. I'll be gone. Dan will be here. You'll meet them. There's some other ones already here, but it'll happen. Anyway, so literally, and this is where I got to start at the beginning. I've seen this happen a few times. It was done purposely in front of me. There's a Starbucks not too far from the house here. About 7 years ago, I was waking up, seeing more, feeling more. I had dealings with all kinds of people, all kinds of things happening. But I got pushed real hard to hurry up and get up to Starbucks, and I did, and I saw this other gentleman there. And he's some type of like a science police officer or some sort. Cool dude. And I was told to hurry up and get up there. He was waiting on me, and I was being pushed. That's when the original male and female was still there. I was talking with the original female. Needless to say, I was telling her to frack off. And so then I went ahead and got down there. Now, that was an interesting day. Anyway, man, so much has happened. I do so much every day dealing with stuff on the other side. Now it's parts of my own spirit that are broken off. I'm going to talk about this in the next video about the problems when spirit breaks off from you. It's stupid. It's never had a life, doesn't understand. It has your energy behind it. It's part of your energy that breaks loose. It has power, but it has no intelligence. It has no memories of its own. It has to build those, and that really happens through lives. That's one reason why we have lives. Anyway, so I got up there. I saw the guy. I looked at him, kind of just gave him a little smile, nodded, just didn't pay him much attention on purpose. And then he saw me, and then he took his computer, and then he closed the laptop, put it in his case, and then went into the bathroom. And the only place, there was only one chair. There was only one, sorry, got a little argument there. There's only one chair where I could sit, one open chair. So I sat down over there and I said, man, that's crazy. Those guys in ships, they're hell on their employees. Man, the guy's, wrapping up his computer. That Starbucks was a very safe place. You could leave your computer, no one's going to say anything. Somebody came in and grab it, somebody would see something. Good people. Excuse me. Anyway, but I took it to the bathroom. That was weird. I sat there. The one seat that was open was right there, closest to the bathrooms. So I sat down, and just looking out, and I said, man, I wish he'd hurry up and get out. I got to use the restroom too. And I waited, and I said, son of a bitch, what the hell is he doing in there? And then I thought, what the hell? And then I relaxed to look inside. I saw no one inside. I said, son of a bitch. I went up there, opened up the door. Sure enough, he was gone. So I stopped, relaxed, and I looked back at what happened. And I looked at him. I see him touch something on his side. and then all of a sudden there's a red energy field, a red aura. That's the auric expression of the energy used, the frequencies, and it built up right around the button, and then it went into orange all over the body, and then it went subdimensional, and it just took off like this. The way I've described that is if you cut a hole in ice, say you go in a river up in Alaska, and it's got ice on it, and you drill through the hole in the ice. If you take an apple is buoyant, but it's like semi-buoyant. It's not like a ball of air that'll just float like a balloon floating on top of the water. It goes in a little bit. Well, if you all of a sudden went up to that hole, dropped an apple in there, it would sink enough right away to where it got underneath the ice and then it take off flying with the current. That's what it's like when they beam in and out. Now, after I saw that, I said, well, that's cool. And I kind of said, damn, I wish I would have known. I waited too long. It was like being uncomfortable, waiting for the restroom. So anyway, then later on, I went down to a certain food chain, store, whatever. And, excuse me. And I got sent there. So I needed more physical proof. So then I walked into I was led right into this one section of the store. And I'll tell you, it was a Whole Foods. So I walked in, and there was a lady at the cash register behind there looking at me. And she's just smiling. I'm not something to smile, I'm no handsome man or nothing. And she just looked at me. She was smiling, just kind of laughing, and I'm like, okay, what do I have? A carrot sticking out of my ear or something? What is she laughing at? So I went up and started talking to her a little bit, and started talking somewhat spiritual stuff, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I walked away, and I was pulled towards this corner where there's a closet. I can tell you for a fact that the cement in this place is like 4 foot and a couple inches deep. Okay? Period. That's how deep it is on the bottom floor there. There was a small triangular closet. Okay? On the back of that closet is shelves with materials on it. Okay? Supplies. Above it is nothing. It's open. Okay? There's no trapdoors. There's no nothing. So I saw her smile and everything, but I'm turning around and walking that way, and she's laughing. I mean, in her mind, she's laughing. And I said, what the frack? And then all of a sudden, this guy walks up out of nowhere. He goes, excuse me. I looked right at him. And then he gave me this kind of a straight stare, and I'm like, screw you. And then he walks into the closet, doesn't quite close the door. A little plastic package, bottle of vitamins rolls from underneath the door, and then I'm like, okay. So I picked up the vitamins. The whole time, I could have reached out and touched the door. I was right there. So then I said, all right, I don't belong there. So I went ahead and opened the door. Look, there's no one in there. So, and then I felt the girl just laughing her ass off, and I turned around and looked at her, and she was trying so hard to be serious, but she couldn't stop laughing, her smile. She was like this, And I said, here you go, these vitamins. A guy just went into the closet, and knocked something over, so these vitamins, he didn't knock anything over, nothing hit the ground. He just took the vitamins, rolled them out underneath the door, and so I handed them to her. I said, so anyway, the guy walked in there. I said, the vitamins rolled out underneath the door. He's gone right now. He's, popped out. When he comes back, hand him the vitamins and tell him thanks. And she didn't say a word. She's looking at me, just smiling. And all of a sudden, I get ready to turn around and walk away, and here comes the son of a bitch walking right at me, and just comes up there, looks around, and then walks off again. He was trying to show me, yes, that just happened. Well, I knew it happened. I could see it. And she was laughing and she walked off. So then I said, screw that, and I walked out of there. Someone else came up to the register. Different girl went to the register to work, so. But there's no flash of light. There's nothing exotic or glamorous or, it's not like TV. So that's how they move in and out. They go subdimensional, and then they have a start, like can't find a word for it. There's like a beacon. They go from one end to another. There's a subdimensional beacon, and they just go from one point to the other. They have plenty of sensors that do that. Some of the folk have sensors that are subdimensional. I've actually seen in people's brains. Sometimes when I've gone in and cranked people up, I saw the sensor going on there, and I'll literally go there and destroy it. I said, wow, Jay's talking some big shit. Huh? A buddy of mine, one of his lives was Plato. Okay, he was a really cool student that I had. He'll talk and talk and talk just to learn, nonstop. All you can do is walk away faster than him. Cool guy. And when I cranked him up, I saw this thing moving around his head, but I saw who was behind it, and I said, well, what the hell? And they were reading the energy output in his brain while I was doing it. A lot of the stuff I'm telling you will be almost impossible for anyone who's just coming in, tuning into this channel to understand, and that should be normal. Over time, it'll make more sense, unless you don't want to wake up. Then it'll never make any sense, I guess. You can trust your gut feeling about things, but whatever. But there's a lot of people that are very much awake now. People are waking up on their own, of course, but I've cranked up thousands of people. So these people are understanding more and more. They're seeing and feeling more because they're more themselves than they've ever been. And plus, when someone whose source cranks you up, you get strong. Some of that source spirit stays in you. It's a gift that goes on forever. Anyway, excuse me. That's going to be controlled too pretty soon through the field. It's already started. But anyway, getting back to the ET thing. So they have these sensors that you'll see them and then poof, they're gone. They literally have their own, it's like a little mini robot or something. They just beam themselves in and out. They'll be on a ship and, they're given a directive, go here and check that out. They just beam themselves back and forth. Just as if we would make a robot that would actually move leg, step to go somewhere. They just, it's high tech. So, back to the visitation. Okay, I wanted you to know that they can go subdimensional, and when they do, they literally are in a different dimension. They can go through anything. They're not really here. The lower dimension below us is the Fae, and they have bodies that are much more energetic. They don't have the same stress that we do, physical body. And they literally can go through walls or anything else. You as spirit can go through anything. How many times have I been on a video and held up a stone and asked you to feel it? I've had a couple of videos where I was teaching you how to, feel stone through the video, and then make you realize, number one, you traveled through space, distance, to get there, and number two, you traveled through time. You try to feel a different stone for the first time, you don't know what it feels like. These stone books that you read, they don't tell you anything about that. They don't know. How come the stuff I tell you about stones isn't in any other book? Because no one else knows. Until I crank people up, make them stronger, give them a hint, and then they just start learning on their own. You learn how to do things for yourself. That's what I offer. Help in becoming yourself, and you make up your own mind. I build a highway. You got to walk on it, drive on it, whatever. I'm not making something about me. That's why I dress like this and everything else. There's no hidden psychic con job or something. So anyway, and the stronger y'all get, the more you wake up, the more you're going to see the stuff for yourself. That's the cool thing about it. And it's permanent, and you teach it to your kids. Your kids teach it to their kids. Next thing you know, like I said, 100 years from now, a little better than 40% of the population of this planet is going to be awake. 100 years is not that long a time. I mean, it is for life, but in the scope of a whole planet, it's not. Damn. Excuse me. A little piece of myself was trying to burrow into my left ear and give me an earache. It can't do nothing anymore. That espresso machine has a lot of froth in it. That's funny. Anyway, so they can literally, they use their technology for anti-gravity. When they work on you, they levitate you in the air. And then it's easier to work on you. They have small handheld type apparatus. They don't have to touch it with their hands, but it's basically handheld. And they can literally use it to work on you when you're in a small area. They have devices that what we would think of as a hypodermic needle. They have devices. They can control them, move all over the place. They can swell up in size. They can run fluid through it. They go into us, and I saw them when I woke up yesterday morning before that, where they were going through one of my veins. They were checking my blood temperature. I mean, these things are incredible what they can do. But anyway, they'll go in your nose, in your mouth, somewhere else. They don't go through the tympanic membrane. They don't want to mess with that. Now, all right, at some point I gotta, let me go ahead and say this now. There have been a lot of others that have come here that are brutal, abusive, and care about you as much as most people care about slaughtering cattle. Do they have the right to do that? No. Do we have the right to slaughter cattle? No. So, you let your conscience take you where you feel it needs to be, but things are changing. Things were made to be like this. It's not your fault. Things are made to be like this, and now they're being made not to ever be like this anywhere ever again. That's the great gift of your God. An abusive creation that feeds upon itself with strife, abuse. All to make your spirit stronger when it comes out of a body, so it's larger, and then you get together with your actual spirit half, soulmate usually, and then just release a third of your energy. And the bigger the bigger you are, the more little pieces there are that come out of you. Everything started getting, the big stuff started getting so big, it's releasing smaller parts of itself all over the place. I got to deal with this stuff all the time. It's pieces of myself that are stupid. Anyway, that's not for this video. Now, why would Jay say that spirit has come off of him and it's stupid? Well, because it is. I give you information so you can self-educate. Doesn't matter if it makes me look like crap. I don't give a damn. What counts is that I did it. It's my job. That's part of why I'm here this last life. Never again. My responsibilities demand that I be out of body, and pretty soon I will be. Anyway, So they can actually go subdimensional and use anti-gravity. They go subdimensional. The gravity's not even an issue anymore. Go right through a door and then poof, beam up into a ship. But there's all kinds of stuff they can do to you when you're there. When you're there in your own house, they can, like I said, they have sensors that can go in and out of you that are subdimensional. They can be physically inside your brain, but subdimensional. You'll never feel it. You'll never know, but that they're sensitive enough to pick up readings on your brain while it's literally in your brain space, but subdimensional. The technology they have, folks, is nuts. I can get an accurate understanding of what they can do if we try to apply our thought process of what physics actually is. So, it's something I'm going to have to get into later. I expect I will. We'll see. Is so many scientists are so tied up in this thought process of the space between planets. What is it? The planet, the energy, it fights itself and works. Well, but no, it's simple. But anyway, that's for later. ETs coming in and out. I told you about the floating stuff. It's just anti-gravity stuff. When they're working on you, it leaves that metallic taste in your mouth. And then you also know now how they beam in and out. They build an energy field around themselves, and then you go interdimensional, subdimensional. You don't dematerialize like on Star Trek. Cool show, love them all, but it's not like that. The more you wake up, the stronger you get, the more you're going to see. You want to see stuff better? If you're pineal and you see stuff, a real strong full body sphere, a max power full body sphere, just plug it in plug it in, just set it down. This no cords. I'm going to make this, I'm going to send that off to Matt, my son Matt. See? Plastic. Well, for what he charges, it ought to be made of super special glass. And folks, it's the stone, and even more so, the energy inside where the value is. This is special stone, and I put my energy into it. I power the hell out of it. And just set it next to your bed. You go to sleep. Your brain, everything else is moving and growing while you're sleeping. Where's the effort in that? The effort's in paying for it to buy it. There's people that have boxes out there, magic boxes, $4,500, $8,000, $25,000, $35,000. I looked at that stuff and I said, holy shit. Unreal. Unreal. People, right before I retired, I was charging $1,200 for a consult that I said was 45 minutes, and a lot of you that have had consults know that sometimes it'd be 2.5 hours, but and that was for one crank up, and sometimes I'd crank up 8 people before we ended the consult because they were there and I wanted to. I just had to make money for that, a certain amount of money for that time, so I could keep everything moving. Going into court here soon, proving in legal courts that metaphysical abilities are real. I'm doing this for all of you. Nobody can say shit when you start waking up. I'm cussing a little bit here today. No one can say a damn thing when you start waking up and start literally doing stuff, saying you see stuff. Nobody can take crap because I'm setting a precedent for it. Other people have said stuff before it, man, whatever. I don't give a damn. No one can do what I do. Source people can crank people up. That's good. It's awesome. But it's not me. I'm here to prove this. I'm building your highway. Then I'm leaving. And I've done everything but finish the cul-de-sac that's at the end of it. Your personal house is in the cul-de-sac. That's when you go down the highway and you get there and then just relax, have a nice life. You be there. That's what's happening. Animals are leaving on all the planets. People get more and more concerned about the animals leaving right now. Folks, it hasn't even started yet. Not the actual intense removal. Anyway, back to DTs. So they can go subdimensional, while the physical, the gravitational, whatever the word is. This morning, when they face through something solid, it's interdimensional stuff. They're not just able to do this; they can articulate it very well. Articulate, probably the wrong word, but what I'm trying to say is they have a lot of finesse, a lot of, they can control the phasing of it very well. This morning I got up and I felt really drowsy because they know not to try and cure me or anything, but they helped me along and I appreciate it, but I got so much to do. I want to get the hell out of here. I can't stand being here anymore, but there's things I have to do. So I'm trying like hell to push the envelope to get stuff done. And I wake up groggy like that. And I didn't wake up all night long. And, then I say, damn it. And I already have that aggressive attitude because I was physically touched. And they have my permission. I've told them. Literally told them. But it's still just frustrating. I just got to get the hell out of here and fix stuff. Anyway, so then I got up and I heard something downstairs. And I said, son of a bitch. And I went and looked. And I said, what the hell are they looking at? They were coming out of the kitchen, looking at stones on this table. I said, and then I started to wake up a little bit. And then all of a sudden, boom, something goes from around the studio here right down the stairs, and then it went subdimensional. I'm like, and it was E.T. And I'm like, it was like a Serpoian type gentleman. I was just a male, so I got pissed. So I got up, went downstairs, and said, "Screw y'all." It was 4 o'clock this morning, something. Now something else that happens that's not E.T. Last night, Deanna and yesterday, Deanna and I were downstairs, and I was killing a bunch of crap on the other side. Attacking her, attacking me, screwing with us, mostly just trying to control us. It's not vicious attacks, but we're going to control you. And to me, that's an attack. So I just killed some stuff, a bunch of it. Then it was open. Everything was relaxed, and I said, good. They come out of nowhere. They hide. I can't find them. I just, when you're in a body, you're limited, okay? Okay, I can do some really cool stuff. Been doing it for years. Proving my point to scientists, doctors, all kinds of crap, okay? However, all of us, when we're in a body, it doesn't matter it's important for you to be who you are out of a body, but when you're in a body, it doesn't matter what you can do outside of a body. You can't do that. You can't do the same stuff. So anyway, we were. That's why I can't just reach out and do everything in one shot. I can't want to get out of my body. But anyway, so Deanna and I were relaxing, and then I heard some noise, but Deanna heard it much better than I did. I heard a soft muffle, and I was busy looking. I was trying to find more stuff that was going to be a problem so I could get rid of it. But I heard something, and Deanna said, did you hear that? And I said, not really. And then I said, it's Faye. It's male Faye, a small guy, and he's like, oh, shit. Oops. And he didn't mean to do it, whatever it was. Then we came upstairs, and there were some containers over here that I have 2.5 foot away from the ledge, from the edge of the desk, and they were dumped on the floor. He made a physical body. He was up here, and he made most of a physical body. A mostly physical body is what I should say. And he knocked the stuff off, all the lids for some of these containers were on the floor and stuff. A decent sized container. And he was like, whoops. So we came up here, we were laughing. What the way your life up to now has taught you, you would say, oh, something just happened, whatever, we can't explain it, we don't know what it is, but it's okay, it's nothing. Now there's stuff going on you should know about. See it for yourself. That Jay, he has such an imagination. I see, understand, and feel things that other people can't. And imagination, if I have such an imagination, what the hell's going on with the quantitative electroencephalogram? When I went into Martin Parra's brain when he was in Sweden, and I was right here in this chair here in Duluth. And then the machines went nutty, crazy. So what happened? Coincidence? Yeah, sure. It's time to start the test. His brain waves go nuts all over the place when I went into his hypothalamus gland. It's a coincidence, really? Well, where'd it come from? This is an expensive, highly sensitive, accurate piece of medical equipment. So what the hell made it do that? And how far is it from Atlanta, Georgia to Sweden? Probably more than a couple thousand feet, huh? You think? The field allows you to go anywhere, almost anywhere and almost everywhere. Instantaneously, almost. Excuse me. The great war between grapefruit juice and coffee. So anyway, in the phago subdimensional, naturally, these new energy bodies you're going to have, I'll say within 2,000 years you're going to have them. It's going to be a lot quicker, but if I'm conservative on the estimate, then I don't have to worry about being incorrect. So, and everyone's going to have them. Well, at one time, when you start having lives in these bodies, it's going to be in another universe. Excuse me. So, when it happens, when you have those energy bodies, you're going to be with energy people. Your energies can touch each other, flow into each other. You're not going to be in a solid person environment and not be able to touch anyone they can't see. It's not going to be like that. It'll be just like you're in a physical body, but it's just like here, everyone's physical. You're going to be in a different, place, and everyone's energetic. It's thick energy, though. So anyway, I guess that's enough for now. That's what's going on. Folks, they make physical bodies. They just literally beam into the house and walk around. I have so much crap in this house. It's stone and equipment and... So... I need to finish emptying out my shop so I can fully utilize it for what it needs to be. Anyway, well, folks, that's a whole lot of what's going on with ETs, how they move in and out and do a lot. I know you hear a lot of crap on the internet. I can't help that. All I can do is give you information I know is good, and I live it. I live the experience. And when they put their equipment in you, I've got stuff inside me right now. And they're trying to help me maintain to finish long enough to finish what I got to do. The liver and the heart right now and my lungs. Kidneys. Anyway. And there are now these are the nice experiences. A lot of people have had a lot of bad experiences because the people that came here were trash. They came to Starship. They're from another planet. ETs, aliens. They're people. A lot of them were trash. Remember, this wonderful federation that loves you so much, that was going to do all this other stuff? No, number one, it's not even alive anymore. Okay, it doesn't exist. It was literally taken down, and their military was destroyed when it got stupid. Tried to take on the Alliance, and a third, 2/3, first a third, then another third of their military literally left them and just went to the other side. Plus the Drock and the Antids, along with some other big players, were back in the new alliance. So it's a universal alliance. Cool. Anyway, damn it, there's something else I had to tell you. Hell, I'll turn this thing off and then I'll remember. Well, let's try it. I'm going to turn it off and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, that actually worked. Something I did want to mention. Dan and I were driving around yesterday, and I said, wait a minute. No, I was driving around, coming back from a movie. She was here at the house, talking on the phone. It's like she's there with me. Anyway, it's funny how you see things as energy. I was getting funky. Anyway, something I noticed. I said, I haven't seen diddly squat for chemtrails. Every once in a while you see one. And then, but there's not many. The sky used to be full of them. Now, you look at the sky, I can see all the dirt in it. It's sickening. It's disgusting. You can see it with your physical eyes. When you open yourself up and become alive, you can see it and feel it. You can actually taste it metaphysically. And the first, word that was right there in my head is Drock. The Drock had already let it be known a little while ago that it was time for the shit to stop. Now I know for a fact there's still one every once in a while, but and I know other places around the planet that it still goes on here and there, but it's been drastically cut down from what it was. The Anunnaki are no longer in charge of this planet. They're a problem, but they're no longer in charge. They came into power a little over 10 million years ago, about 10.25 million years ago. They became the strongest power here. Let me just say that instead. And they've been literally in charge of it now over 8 million years, 8.5 million years. But they were the major power for over 10 million years. And they like to go deep into the ground. So every time there was a cleansing on the top of the planet to get rid of the reptiles and other stuff, they'd be down deep. Just live right through it, no problem. That was a big crow. Anyway, Draka here. Been here for a long time now. There's a Drock ship that hangs around the planet. It's out in space, but not far. It's huge. It's interdimensional, pretty much stays that way. You'll see it one day, it'll blow your mind. Probably see it as it leaves or something. Something that big that can take off and it doesn't even leave the slightest pressure on your body or sound is just incredible. Dan and I are anxiously awaiting these food synthesizers or replicators. I think most people want to call them. Whatever. The name is just a descriptive means of discussing something, thinking about the same thing. Anyway, folks, look. Love you, man. For some of you, that'll help. I wasn't trying to say that all these visitations are wonderful, because there have been things here that are really nasty. Getting rid of the Federation has really helped with the abductions and stuff like that. And I told you that I did a video on it, that they had just been outlawed and it was going to be handled. When you outlaw something or change a law, it doesn't mean the wrong thing isn't going to happen. It just means it cuts down on it. It's being made illegal. Changes here. Takes a while before it cleans everything up, but changes here. The Federation was literally selling timeshare on this planet for people to come and take minerals out of the planet, to take people, cut up livestock and stuff, like all the cows you'd find with triangular laser marks in them. Oh, there's a bunch of college kids with laser equipment. Yeah, right. Anyway, it's all been outlawed. 3/4 of it, 75%, has been stopped. And it will finish being taken out. There will be crimes. I mean, there will be punishment for that new crime. And almost always, it's over 85% of the time, it's going to be death. Things are going to change. You'll see it. We have to see things for ourselves, because this is a physical world, but it's also metaphysical. So it's important for you to use all of your senses, all of your abilities, to understand what's going on, to see it for yourself and make your own decisions. Your best decisions are made when you're relaxed and you use all your abilities. Love you folks. Have a good one.